discretion is advised. Murder, She Watched is for entertainment purposes only. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Murder, She Watched. My name is Amy Archer. I'm your host, and this is the podcast where we solve murders from our couches. I'm joined today by Tess Brigham from Legal Pop. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you did.
Yay! I've been practicing ever since you told me the snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah.
It's in my head now.
All right.
We're going to talk about the truth and tragedy of Moriah Wilson today, which was an amazing documentary.
Yes. So you, a little behind the scenes, you texted me and said, oh my God, I'm watching it. It's so beautiful. And I knew the story and I had watched.
Okay, I did not.
I had watched the story on Dateline. I had watched the story on 2020. So I knew very much, I knew the case, but I was like, oh, so beautiful. Okay. And I thought, at first I thought they lived in Colorado, Vermont, Colorado. Very similar.
Well, I spotted those Vermont hippies the minute I saw them.
So, and then when I finally sat down to watch it and I was like, oh, I get it now. So it was a very different story. And they very much told us the story of Mo versus what Dateline did, which is the story of the crime. Because I will tell you, they cut a lot of stuff out. Like Caitlin was on the run in Costa Rica for 45 days. There's a whole thing of how they capture her.
Wow.
How they get her and nab her from there. And she was, all of that. There's so much more to the story, but I just love that they were like, no, we're not going to, we're going to make this an hour and a half and we're going to give you the broad strokes. But if you want the other stuff, go watch Dateline.
I have kind of a dark thought.
Oh, okay.
Shocker. Okay. And please don't judge me when I say this, because I know it sounds crazy, but if God forbid I were to lose a child in some way, like this is the kind of documentary I would want made about them. Yes. This was such a beautiful tribute to who Mo was. I was just in love with it. I was in love with the parents. I thought, yes, there's a gruesome murder in it, but it is more about Mo and who she was. And I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, and what's interesting is, and I don't know if you picked up on this, but like you could tell all these people are like really well educated because the way they speak, I'm like, are we in a poem? Like, what is happening here?
She went to Dartmouth.
Yes.
Dartmouth.
Yes.
I mean,
but even the parents, I was like,
yeah, I think they probably went to Dartmouth too.
Like,
I mean,
you're speaking prose. Like, what is this? I love it.
To me, it was almost like, oh, you've got two emotionally stable, healthy people that lost their daughter that are responding to it in a way that emotionally stable people do, which is like at the end where the mom is speaking to Caitlin directly, like everything she said was very much like exactly what I would say. Like the mom's like ranting and raving's not going to do anything. I guess I just need to say what I need to say to you and I need to do it for me and move forward and all of it. So it's such a tragic story. It's so, and I have mixed feelings about Colin, but we'll get there.
I do too. And I didn't know the story. So when the twist happened, I was like, whoa. Because immediately when I laid eyes on him, I'm like, A, number one, I would have dated that guy. And B, number two, oh, he did it. I was he absolutely did it.
Because this is a classic thing. Like if you did not know the story, you would think, yes, he was the murderer. And that's the thing is like, this is how false stuff happens, right? Because he seems so guilty. And I've never even seen any of this, but he seemed so guilty in that moment. And it was just like, oh, you're a little quirky. And again, I think this is part of the issue was that Colin's strength is not communication.
Yeah.
And I really think that this was an issue of, again, this is all on Caitlin Armstrong. But we'll get to what Colin did wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, good.
I will say the director of this is Marina Zinovich, and she also did The Way Down, which we just covered on Little Miss Recap, and we really enjoyed that documentary.
The Way Down's the one with the hair going up.
Gwen Chamberlain.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. We did that like eons ago.
It was out in 2021. So
so I think we did it in 2021. It's a good one. Yeah.
She also did Robin Williams, Come Inside My Mind, which I've never seen, but I want to watch that now.
Yeah. And then I think she also did the Chevy Chase documentary.
Oh, did she really? I know she did Lance. and she did Roman Polanski, Wanted and
Oh,
Desired. Oh, she did do Chevy Chase.
yeah. I'm sure she's got
Yeah.
stories about that one because Chevy Chase is a piece of work.
And she also did Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping the Twin Flames universe.
Oh my God.
So she's positioned herself
Mm-hmm.
cult / problematic figure space.
Yes. Yes.
But I think, I just think she did a beautiful job.
She did.
It was really well done. So shall we start?
Yes. Let's start.
Okay. First of all, hour and a half. Mwah, chef's
yes.
kiss. Perfect.
That's the other thing too, is this is also why I love these parents. Because these
Mhm.
parents are like, listen, we love our kid and we can talk about her for hours, but we know the rest of the world
Yeah,
doesn't want to
yeah.
watch a 5-hour documentary about our child. So
And there's not like a ton of mystery around it still. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
This is
yes.
an open and shut case. We know who
Mhm.
did it. They're caught.
Mhm.
So like, why drag this out for
Yeah.
6 episodes? Like
Yeah.
the story should be more about Mo
Yeah.
and her
yeah.
impact. All right. So like I said, this is The Truth and Tragedy of Moriah Wilson. Her first name is actually Anna, which I think
Yes.
is really cool that she goes by Moriah. And her parents are Karen and Eric. They're lovely. We open with home videos from 1996. We see little Moriah. Her mom, Karen, starts off with a banger, right? She says,
Mhm.
Moriah was born during a thunderstorm with all this energy around her, and her lungs, when she would cry, were like thunder.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God, can this be my mother?
What all I was thinking was 1996. I'm doing the math and I'm like,
I
oh my
know.
God.
I was a year out of high school.
Yeah. I was like, oh crap. I was just out of college or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, oh, I'm old.
We're getting old, Tess.
Yeah,
It's okay.
very.
It's all right. So we have a beautiful score.
Mhm.
And then mom says, it was as if I had always known her. It was like she was familiar. And I'm sobbing at this point. Like, oh my God. She says, within days of Moriah being born, I was sitting there listening to a Sean Colvin song. It's You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go. And she said, I realized that she would leave me someday. Okay, so this is my brain. I want to welcome everyone to my brain. Because when you have a good moment, like you're holding your baby daughter in your arms for the first time, my brain goes to someday she will leave me. Someday, I look for the pain in any good situation, and I feel real seen by Karen here. Doing the same thing. In 1998, they have a son. Again, we see a lot of home videos. Her brother says, Matt, looking back, I think Moriah's body or soul knew she had less time than most people, and that's why she had the sense of urgency underlying everything she did. Again, can these people just be like correspondents on the news or something?
Yeah. Well, again, this is very healthy people. Like, how do you make sense of this? How do you
Right?
make sense of this in your
Right.
life? And this is how they're making sense of it.
Yeah,
is
that's a good
through
point.
like there's a lot. We have to believe there's a larger reason, or that this was her path, and we have to trust that. Because if you don't, I mean, and they talk about this like circling mud puddles. I don't know if you have that written down too.
And
but
we should point out that you are a legit therapist.
Yes.
Like you're
I'm
pointing out that this is healthy behavior because because you've worked in this field.
Yes.
So we see Moriah in a professional biking event. She won the 2022 Lifetime Grand Prix. I don't know what any of this means.
Again, I don't even understand what gravel racing is.
So
gravel
I know
racing?
that.
Okay,
that's
thank
you're biking on gravel or dirt.
But how is that different
to the
dirt?
road?
But okay, that I understand. But then there's also like dirt bike racing and all of that. So is this the same as dirt bike racing?
So there's road, mountain bike, track, cyclocross, gravel, and BMX.
Okay. I think I was getting mountain and gravel mixed up because in my mind, I'm like, if there's rocks on the ground.
Okay, so here's gravel. Held on unpaved roads and mixed surfaces, typically covering long distances.
Ah, okay.
So BMX is short sprints on dirt tracks. And then you have cross country, which is endurance over rough terrain, including steep climbs and descents. So yeah, I don't know. I guess there's more to this world than I
No, there's a whole, because I've had clients that the Strava app and all of this stuff that's going to come up like this. This is the stuff that I always find so fascinating is how there are these pockets of the world where if you don't know much about it,
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't know. I mean, you don't, but my guess is that, the cyclist world is probably like, ooh, look who they got. And
This
ooh.
is an intense subculture.
Yes.
I can just
Yes.
tell.
Yes.
Mhm. So Alan Lim says she was a diamond in the rough, Moriah, and a once in a lifetime athlete, and her future was filled with raw possibility.
Yeah.
Now we go to May 11th, 2022, Austin, Texas. We hear a 911 call from Caitlin Cash. My friend is staying with me. I'm reading it straight, but
Yes.
she was hysterical.
Yeah.
My friend is staying with me. I just walked in. She's face down in the bathroom. There's blood everywhere. She's hysterical. And even now, this woman has a very hard time talking about this.
Because she has all this guilt, which again, it's a very normal, healthy thing. And again, she's processing and she's going through some things. But yeah, it's very true.
And just the like the trauma of finding a dead body, let alone your friend, is so, I can't even. Oh my God.
But also she was younger. You felt right. Like this is your home. You feel, and she feels responsible.
Yeah. We hear most of the call. We also hear 911 operator talking Caitlin through CPR. And unlike most of the calls we hear, Ellen Greenberg's boyfriend, I'm looking at you, she's actually performing the CPR. Unlike Corey Richins, I can't do it. Like, she's actually doing this.
Yes, yes.
And we see the body cam of the responding officers. Caitlin tells the cops she doesn't live here, but she was out with our good friend Colin Strickland. And I'm immediately like, he did it. Go get him. Go pick him up. Like, we don't even need justice, like a trial. Just go get him, throw him in a jail cell. And she was stunned and couldn't believe that she was dead. And so now we go back to Vermont, and Karen and Eric are there. Do you remember, you covered the Jinx with me famously?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do you remember when Bob Durst had his little hippie phase and was going to Vermont to run like the little general store before his father lured him back to the company?
But was he married with the first?
Yes,
the wife
with the first wife
that he killed.
Yeah. Allegedly,
allegedly killed, because he was not. He was never convicted of it. That's right. Yeah, I do vaguely. I kind of vaguely.
It's like
remember
a little
that.
hippie enclave up there. I love it.
Yeah.
I love Vermont. It's beautiful. So they're petering around in the garden, and Karen remembers the day that she got the visit. And I don't know, I pick up on this stuff, and I'm sure you do too as a therapist. Like, Eric is touching her supportively, you know what I mean? Like, rubbing her back as she tells the story, because it's hard. It's a hard memory to have. And she says, to this day, it doesn't make sense in my brain that this happened. Like, I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Richard was the responding detective in Austin, and he brings Caitlin in to get her side of the story first. And she doesn't have a lawyer with her. That makes me nervous all the time whenever I see anyone without a lawyer.
Well, she does say it. She does say, I think I need an attorney.
Yeah.
So.
This is Richard's first case. So he's like, I got to get this right.
Yes, I didn't realize. When I heard, I was like, oh, they skipped that on Dateline, I think.
Yeah. Caitlin says, and they called this Caitlin Cash, I think. Yes. Rightfully so, to not confuse her with, the bad Caitlin.
Yes. And I'm sure Caitlin Cash only goes by Cash now.
Yeah. So we're going to call her Cash, because that's what they call her through most of it. Cash says Moriah doesn't know anyone here. She was only with Colin. And you can see her. She just looks numb. She's in shock. She's in shock. And they're like swabbing her hands. They're swabbing her for DNA. And then she's just sobbing, and she's asking the police if Moriah is there alone.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's this weird thing of, like, you're in that in-between space of, I've been told that she's gone, but I don't believe that she's gone. So someone needs to be with her.
There was no forced entry, no disturbance in the home. Cash says, and this, again, dark but beautiful, says, they finally let me wash my hands. I go into the bathroom, and as I'm washing my hands, I see Mo's blood swirling down the drain, and I have a very steep memory of wanting that blood back.
I thought that was beautiful.
It sent chills. I'm telling you. I'm like, I want to just hang out with these people.
But could you not see the imagery in your head of the sink and that feeling?
You know what I thought of?
What?
Psycho.
Oh.
Remember the blood going down the drain?
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
And that was so like cutting edge.
Oh yeah.
I'm
At the
not going to go
time.
down this road. I could go into a whole thing about how Psycho was made because I'm so
Mhm.
obsessed with it. Anyway, okay. So Mariah's from East Burke, Vermont, and we knew that because we saw the hippie parents that we
Mhm.
love. Karen tells us Moriah was super athletic from the jump, like came out of the womb skiing pretty much.
Mhm.
And she was a skier and a mountain biker. And we hear, so there's this, and I always have mixed feelings about this. They use her journal entries and they talk
Yes.
about them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I too had a very strange feelings because again, I understand you wanted to capture her and I think it
Mhm.
did allow us to see her,
It
but
did.
she wrote those words in private.
I know.
Like
It
those are not,
bothers
it would be
me.
one thing. I mean, the stuff where her on stage, her and all these other
Mhm.
places,
Yep.
yeah, you have free reign. But this I thought was really like, wow,
Yeah.
ugh,
We've
I don't
seen
know if
this
she, yeah.
before. They did it in, I don't know if you guys covered Friends Like These, the Skylar Niece murder, but they did it there. And
Oh,
I mean, these
no.
were like teenagers writing in their
Yeah.
journals. And I was
Yeah.
kind of like, as someone who has been scarred for life by my mother reading my diary when I was 13,
Oh my gosh.
I just don't like this.
Yeah.
Karen tells us, or I'm sorry, Alan Lim is up next. Alan Lim is her coach, and he says biking is hard because you have a like one in however many people show up that day at the
Mhm.
starting line is your odds, right? One
Yeah.
in 3,000 if 3,000 people show up. Whereas skiing and competitive sport, like you might have 12 or 13 people you're racing against, but
Mhm.
bike racing, it can be anybody,
Yeah.
especially in these big races. He says, but Moriah was always on that podium. She
Mhm.
always did it, and she was just dominating. So in early 2022, she goes to Austin to stay with Cash for a few weeks. They're working together, they're eating together. And Cash says it was an incredible, beautiful unfolding of a relationship. Again.
Yeah.
One day after the murder, we have Guillermo Gonzalez and Ricky Jones from the DA's office, and they realize this is not a simple robbery. Like
Mhm.
there's something going on here. And they begin to collect the digital evidence. And as part of this, they go to visit Colin Strickland.
Mhm. And this is footage I've never seen before. Like
Yeah.
this was the other thing too, was it seemed like the parents went to Colin and had some kind of conversation with him because we have yet to see this guy. This guy has not
Okay.
participated in anything else that I've seen ever.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this was the most like when he came back at the end, I was like, oh, because he was doing it for this documentary.
I have a
believe.
lot of complex feelings on
Okay.
Colin.
Yes.
I think he's real cute. I
He
can
is a
see the
cute-
draw. I can see
Yeah.
the draw. Mm-hmm.
And Moriah, right? I could see it completely. He's about
Mhm.
10 years older than her. She's 25, she's 24, 25. He's at the top of his game, or he's well known.
Mhm,
He's larger
mhm.
than life. Like, yeah, I totally would. If I was in her position, of course,
Yep,
you would
yep.
have a massive crush on him.
Absolutely. And the thing that disturbed me is when they rolled up on him, we see this through the body cam. He's like, as Timmy would say, tinkering in his
Yeah.
garage. And he claims he doesn't know who they're talking about, which I thought was weird.
Because they said Anna Wilson.
Oh, they said Anna.
They said Anna.
Okay.
As someone myself, my full legal name's Elizabeth Tess. And
I
so,
did not know that.
Oh, yeah. My parents really saddled me with that one.
Okay.
And I've always gone by Tess. And
Okay.
so it's been fun. We had someone who was like waiting for me, and my neighbor was like, came out there and said, "Someone's waiting for an Elizabeth. Who's Elizabeth? I don't know who." I was like, "That's me. That's me." Like, calm down. So I will say that yes, I believe that he had no idea.
Well,
It
then
wasn't
I
until he
wrote,
said Mo and Maureen, like that's when he started piecing things together.
oh, the cops screwed up her name. So at this point, I had not known that Anna was her first name.
Mhm.
So I thought they got the name wrong. And then I thought he was trying to deny it. And I was like, throw him in jail. This is why I can't be on jury. So he's like, yeah, Moriah. Yeah, I know her. And they're like, well, we have to tell you that she's been killed. And he just has this weird silence.
Mhm.
And I wonder, Tess, if in this moment he knows.
That's what I was piecing together. I mean, he obviously is a very introverted person, and he kind of he processes inside. So his mind is going
eerily quiet at this point.
Yeah, and he's trying to piece it all together. But yeah, I think in that moment in time, I think he thought, because I bet you maybe Caitlin would yell and scream at him, I'm gonna fucking kill you and her. And I mean, I really think that he was like, oh, could this be? Could it?
Yeah.
No. Oh, what's
Yeah.
happening here?
Yeah. I think, and you know, we'll talk later about like his role in this, but I just think you see the dots connecting in real time in his mind. We also meet Gunnar Show, which is a great name.
Yes.
Great name. If you're going to be like a celebrity-ish cyclist, Gunnar Show. There you go.
Yeah.
He is Mo's former boyfriend. And he says he loved her humility. He loved her strength. He was her first real boyfriend. He says Mo was quiet. She was reserved. She was introverted. And that balanced me out because I'm completely obnoxious. That's what I think he was kind of intimating here. They both grew up in Vermont. They went to Dartmouth, like you said. She was still in college. He graduated. They had a good relationship. He believed they're getting married. In October 2020, they moved to Mill Valley. Is that by you?
Yep. Well, it's in Marin County, but yeah, not far.
Okay. And he says she was so focused on racing and being fast. And keep in mind, as I'm covering this in real time, I don't know who the killer is.
Yeah.
So when this guy says, well, she was so focused on racing and being fast and fit that we lost the spark in our relationship, I was like,
are you the killer?
I don't like that framing. And he claims that she told him she was more in love with biking than him. Like, in retrospect, I believe she probably did say that to him. She was probably like, look, I don't have time to be like lounging in the park on a Saturday. I have to be training at all times.
Yeah.
Like, this is my thing.
The relationship was getting in the way of right. And exactly what she said, she'd rather be biking than spending time with you. So that's telling you something.
But I was suspicious of this guy. I was like, where were you? Where were you at this time? So she gets a roommate, Kimmy, in January 22. They were both in a transitional period. Mo really wanted to date more people, expand her circles. Now we go back to Colin being questioned. And he says, Mo told him that night that Cash was going to have a bunch of people over. So he suggested that they go somewhere quiet, like the pool. Because I guess it's called Pool Burger or something, the bar that they went to. And then there's a pool there and then you can eat as well, which sounds great.
Yeah, interesting.
I would like that. I'd like to be eating and swimming at the same time. Because she's kind of a loner, he says. And, you know, so I thought it would be good. So we see this reporter, Ian, who knew Colin through racing. And he's like, Colin is pretty successful. He's won a few things. And Colin, in an interview with Ian, says that he met Mo out at an event, but he had a girlfriend. So now we get to the girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend says Colin could be very manipulative. I'm like, wow, okay, bringing that in. Other women say he did not act like he had a girlfriend. So his girlfriend at this time is named Caitlin Armstrong.
Yes.
And it's well known that he never introduced her to people.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Like your husband brings you to a work event and he's like, oh, hey, Tony, what's up? And you're just standing there.
Yeah.
And he never introduces you.
Oh, yeah. No, this was a very dysfunctional, broken relationship on many, many levels. One of the things that I'm a little confused about was I was always under the impression that something romantic did happen between the two of them while he was broken up with Caitlin. But in the document, it did, because I thought it didn't in the documentary. Maybe I missed this. They asked her, "Did you kiss? Did you do anything?" Were they referring to that night, like at the pool? Like, did anything romantic happen between the two of you the night she was? But because I was under the impression that they had this like crazy week together.
They had, okay, so this is where it gets confusing. And maybe my listeners can clear this up for us because I was a little confused too. I think she was in Austin twice. And the impression I got is like the first time they had this like week together.
Got it.
And then when she came back again, they were just friends. I could be wrong, or it was all at the same time, but like the first week they were trying to make this a go and then they decided not to. I don't know. Yeah, but the night in question, nothing happened between them.
Because the sense that I always got was they had this like connection, this relationship. I'm sure it felt very big and intense to her. I think he probably obviously liked her and had feelings about her, but I bet you anything, like the minute she, the week's over, and I think she was thinking, oh, well, we'll stay in touch or something may happen. And I think he was gone, like, on to the next thing.
Moriah tells Gunnar about meeting Colin and how he was going to help her get sponsorships, and she was kind of growing interested in him and was telling her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear we hear that interview again, and Colin says, "I broke up with Caitlin, and it was very peaceful, and we didn't fight." A few days later, he gets a message from Mo that she would be in town. So I think she's been in town various times.
Mm-hmm.
Is the
Okay.
impression I got. So she texts him like, "I'm coming back to town.
Yeah.
Could we meet up?" He says Caitlin moved to a separate room in the house, Tess, because they were on a break.
Yeah.
We were on a break.
Yeah.
And he has Mo saved as a different name in his phone.
Yes. Yes. I was like, oh, you're Colin.
Like, so how you said he's 10 years older than her?
I don't know. That's what I thought. I was trying because she was 25 and I feel like he was mid to late 30s, something like that. That was my guess. I mean, I think even if he was early 30s, even if he was like 7-8 years older than her, when you're 25, that's significant.
Well, let me see if I can find an age for him. How old is Colin Strickland? Okay, so he was, you're right. He was born in 1986 and she was born in 1996.
Yeah, so 10 years. Yeah.
10 years. Okay, so because I was ready to kind of say, okay, this guy definitely is guilty of not being very clear with these women, especially Caitlin Armstrong, right? But he's 25, 26, but he's 36.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this is the part that's really hard about all this. It would be one thing if like the real reason Colin didn't break up with her, it sounded like, was because she ran the business and she was good with money.
We're talking about Caitlin Armstrong.
Armstrong was.
She had access to all his bank accounts, everything.
Yeah. So I think he was scared of her, and I think he realized that it's going to be a mess. And Colin is an avoider. Colin is an avoider. He avoids. He avoids until. And this is why I think this is why this is so tragic for him, because this thing that I'm sure that people have talked to him about, that he knows is in there, led to someone being murdered.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an avoider. He doesn't talk about things. And there's a little bit of like, okay, Colin, if you don't want to be with her, then break up with her. Like, figure out how to run your own business. He was very selfish. I mean, there was a real selfishness to it. And I think that that's also part of what it takes to be a professional athlete. Requires you to be very, very selfish and very self-involved. And I don't think they're easy people to love or be in a relationship with.
That's a really good point. And like, I've read a lot of conflicting things about him on the internet. Like, people just feel like he's we're going to lump him into the complicated historical figure section of my podcast, where yes, he should have done better by this, but also he didn't do this like, nothing is malicious here. The guy doesn't deserve to have his ass kicked for the rest of his life. He's probably kicking his own ass. Yeah, I can guarantee it.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone should be. I think he's beating the crap out of. I think he's. Yeah.
So Colin is very upfront with the police and tells them right away, "I own a 9mm gun, and I can tell you I've never shot it." And they say the cartridges at the scene are 9mm. So I'm like, oh, he did do this. Then we hear Mo's journal about Colin, and she's talking about how he's pulling away and she doesn't know what's happening. She calls Cash at some point and asks, like, have you seen Colin? Because he's just ghosting me. And then Mo sees him at one point out and he's with Caitlin. And that was weird. And she goes, he came up to me. So this is why I think she's been in Austin multiple times, because it sounds like they had like an intense romantic week, maybe or two. And she thought it was more, but he was trying to, because he comes up to her now and he just like hugs her and says, "Hey, how are you?"
That's
like,
right.
I think the relationship maybe was more in her mind. That's not right to say. I think she was chasing more after him than he was of her.
Yes. Well, and he also, I think Caitlin was there when I think he also couldn't hug her.
No.
And 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 I think Mo probably also saw like, oh, he's an F-boy. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Also, too, I think we've all dated people. I can't speak for you, Tess, but I certainly have, we've all been involved with people or dated people who you're like, oh, this one's going to burn everything down if I hurt them. And I think Colin had a little bit of like, Caitlin's crazy and she's going to burn it all down. So I don't know how to get out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Colin says he lost interest in Moriah because she was just at the beginning of her career and he was sort of winding down. So like they were just at two different spots. Well, that's what happens when there's a 10-year age gap sometimes, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was really surprising because I thought he was at the top of his game kind of thing. So I
think he was like looking towards getting out of it.
Got it. Well, he was trying to build his business, right?
Right. Yep.
He had to get that business going.
And then he tells the cops that Caitlin did not want to separate. So they had a reset and it was fine. Tess, do you think it was fine?
No. And I also think that Colin, I bet you anything, Colin didn't want to cheat and do these things that he's doing. That's why I'm saying avoider. Do you know what I mean?
You're absolutely right.
He avoided like having tough conversations. He avoided looking at himself. He avoided anything that would require accountability. So I think every time he did get back together with Caitlin, I think, okay, here we go. This is it. It's happening.
Okay. So you nailed it with the avoider. Yeah. I know people like that in my life. I've been guilty of it myself.
Yeah,
I totally
we all have. We all have.
So we hear a journal entry from Moriah, and she confirms like the language is she's not super angry about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's like, okay, we're at different places. Like, it's fine. Nothing, no big deal. So now she goes to Austin for the race for the week of she goes to Austin for a race the week of the murder. So she's back in town. And I think she just calls him to kind of hang out as friends.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it sounds like.
And I also got the sense that it was a little bit of like, hey, I'm in town for this week. Let's see if we can hang out. I think he was the one that was like, oh, well, do you want to, let's do tonight or this night. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So the day of the murder, she texts Cash and she says, I'm going to go out to dinner and I'm going swimming with Colin later. Caitlin called him while they were at this pool burger place and he didn't answer.
Yep.
And he drops Moriah off and he says, that's the last time I saw her. So now they're interviewing Colin and they pull this neighbor's motion sensor video. And they see a black SUV with chrome windows and a bike rack driving down the alley. And it puts the brakes on. You see the brake lights light up right around where you would have to stop if you were pulling into Cash's apartment. So one of the detectives realized this was the car they saw when they went over to Colin's house to question him.
Oh.
And they're like, so this is Colin's car. Because that's what they think at first.
Looking worse and worse, looking bad for Colin.
Yes. And then they asked Colin about it in the interview, and Colin's like, oh, that's Caitlin's car. And this is where I was like, oh, okay. And then he says, I think, I could have this wrong. I apologize if I do, but I think he said that he and Mo had been on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But I don't think
they were. He took her on a motorcycle. Yeah.
Okay. Now Colin tells them, oh, by the way, Caitlin also has a pistol.
God, everyone's got guns in Texas.
Well, it's Texas. I mean,
everyone's got a firearm. All right.
Yeah. And Karen, Mo's mom, says, I knew it was Caitlin. I knew that she did not like Moriah. And Moriah seems to be the kind of person that doesn't have a lot of enemies. Yeah. So like when somebody doesn't like you, it sticks out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm sure she has talked to Karen about this.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like she had. Like, I think it was a known thing that this woman didn't like her.
Yeah. Now you see Colin putting this all together in the interrogation room, like in real time. And you also see in an adjoining room that they're bringing Caitlin Armstrong in for questioning. Caitlin lawyers up immediately.
Yes.
And she tries to leave. And again, I'm just going to say, because I flip-flop constantly on this podcast, lawyering up is a smart thing to do, but also makes you look really guilty. So, do it, but don't do it, but do.
Yeah. I just think it's you've got to worry about you. Yes, and so that is what's best for you, whether you're guilty or not.
Yeah. But also I'm going to do a podcast about your Dateline episode and I'm going to say you look guilty because you lawyered up. Like that's just going to happen. So Katie, this cop Katie keeps pushing Caitlin. Like
Mhm.
I was almost like, girl, be careful. You don't want to
Yeah.
like violate her Miranda rights here, because she just is pushing and pushing. And Caitlin keeps saying, like, I would like a lawyer. I need to
Mhm.
leave. I would like a
Mhm.
lawyer. So Virginia is Caitlin and Colin's friend, and she's like, their relationship was a literal dumpster fire. Like it was
Yeah.
very tumultuous. And at one point, Mo's friend says Mo told her that Caitlin called her and told her, I'm still with Colin and you need to back the fuck off. Like
Mhm.
it was like a threatening call.
Yeah.
At this point, they let her go because they still think it could have been Colin driving her car.
Mhm.
Like they don't have any evidence to hold her. And meanwhile, he's in the room telling them, like, I don't think Caitlin could be capable of this. But he's doing it like with the inflection on his voice, like, I don't think Caitlin's capable of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And we just see him crying. And he's like, no. Like I feel bad for him in this moment. Because like you said, there's probably a little like, I'm responsible here, not
Mhm.
for Caitlin's actions, but for creating a situation.
Yes.
Friends are like, oh yeah, Caitlin told us she would kill anybody who got in between her and Colin.
Yeah.
She kind of was obsessed with him, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cops get their hands on a neighbor's blink video, which wasn't motion activated. It was on all the time. And at 9:15, you can hear a female screaming. You hear 2 gunshots, and then you hear a third. That is haunting.
Yes. And people, that's the other thing too, is like, Caitlin, did you not think this through? Like
No,
everyone has
she didn't think it
cameras
through.
now.
She didn't think it through.
Yeah.
No. Are you somebody who's totally freaked out by like CCTV video and stuff? Because I am.
Meaning that we're always on camera?
No. Meaning like if you see the murderer on the CCTV. Like there's a show called See No Evil that they solve murders through CCTV footage.
Oh.
So a lot of times you see the crime happening on like you'll see the
Oh.
car driving and picking up the person, or you'll see the person leaving the bar with who will be their killer. It's I get creeped out by it.
Yeah.
Because it's like real.
Huh. I
Can you
didn't know that show
diagnose me?
existed.
Am I weird? Can you diagnose me as weird on air right now?
No. I mean, we all have our things.
Yeah, it's just So their strategy is to rule Colin out.
Mhm.
It's easier than ruling Caitlin in.
Yes.
So they're like, let's rule him out. And they're able to do that with his motorcycle on camera and his phone records that ping off his home tower. He was home when this happened, because from that video, they knew it happened at 9:23.
Yes. And I think they also were able to see that she was dropped off. He was on the motorcycle. There's no way he could be in that car.
Nope.
Nope.
So they do ballistics. They find that the gun matched one from Colin and Caitlin's home. And again, they knew Colin was home, but they didn't know where Caitlin was.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, they issue a warrant for her arrest, but she has fled.
Yes.
And they find that she has sold her Jeep. She has set up a new phone. She flew from Austin to upstate New York to see her sister. Then they found out she used her sister's passport to fly to Costa Rica. So I have a question for you if you saw the dateline on this. Do you remember, was the sister in on it, or was she like, did she not know?
I think the sister kind of knew something was going on, but didn't know the extent of it.
Okay.
I don't think she really got it or not. But no, I mean, the sister was never really in trouble from what I
mean,
remember.
the sisters, she could be totally, she could be like, here's my passport, go to Costa Rica. Or she could be like, what are you doing, you stupid younger sister? Why are you terrorizing me? Get out of my house.
Yeah.
And, completely unaware.
Or she could have just stolen it. She could have gone to, quote unquote, visit her sister, found her passport and some stuff and just taken it with her.
100%. So here's how they build the case against her. Basically, her phone was on airplane mode when she was committing the murder. And I was like, is it that easy? You just have to put your phone on airplane mode? So now they're looking at the Jeep. So they go to CarMax and they are able to track down this Jeep and pull the GPS. And they can see that she was circling the block. Like, this is a creepy part. She was sitting outside that restaurant that they were in when she called them. Very Glenn Close, Boylan the bunny. And then once they left, she followed them. And then she was like parked near Moriah's and then was circling the block, waiting for him to leave. Like, it's well planned in this
Mhm.
moment.
Yes, very much so.
They catch her in Costa Rica by putting a fake ad in a paper
Yes.
searching for a yoga instructor.
Yeah, I mean, the Dateline that I watched, they really got into it. They really talked about how they figured out that she was into yoga and like where would she go and what would happen. And then they were like, okay, this town's known for this. And then they're like, okay, she just got here. So what if we advertise for something? It was
Mhm.
pretty, they sent a lot of people down there. It was somewhat elaborate story, but again, they just kind of went right by this. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. They don't
Yeah.
want to dig into this stuff.
I was kind of like, I'd like more on this.
Mhm.
Like, how did you know where she was living? How did you know she would bite at a yoga instructor job?
But there was I don't know if they got a tip I can't remember if they got a tip from someone or if they were, because if she was using her sister's passport, you just track the sister's passport. So
Mhm.
I think that they were able to kind of figure out where she landed and were able to piece it together that it was Costa Rica. But I think they might have gotten a tip from someone because there's a lot of expats that live there. So I think they got a tip from someone from the
Okay.
expat that maybe
Okay.
thought they saw, and that's how they ended up there. But it was
Okay.
the ad that, she
Wow.
she had left to get some plastic surgery to look more like her sister. And then she came back. Apparently she had bandages. And
Was she a bike racer too?
that's what I could never figure that out. I thought she was, but I
See,
don't
this
think
is what's
so.
wrong when you are like an overachieving, studious, excelling person. Like
Mhm.
you're caught up because you want jobs all the time. Like that would not happen to me. If I'm in Costa Rica on the run, I'm not working. No.
Yeah, but she needed money.
I guess. So now they throw her in jail and she escapes.
Yes. This one was.
Oh, and she had plastic surgery to make her look more like her sister.
Yeah.
Was this a nose job?
Yeah, it wasn't too many things. I think I originally thought that she had done it because she wanted to change her looks, like
Okay.
just, but then I
Yes.
guess it was specifically for the sister. I don't know.
I
I
thought
mean-
we were getting like a soap opera situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like a recast.
Yes.
Yeah. So they throw her in jail. She escapes. They had taken her. What happened is she got injured. They had to take her to a doctor, and they get her over there, and they turn their heads for 2 seconds, and she bolts away. And they end up getting her like a mile down the road, but they're chasing her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we get from Karen, Mom. Grief is like a big mud puddle. You can circle it, or you can go right through it. I was like, oh, God, I love you. At the trial, Caitlin pleads not guilty. And they also reveal that they have evidence that Caitlin Armstrong threw Mo's bike in the weeds somewhere and her DNA was on the bike. And Karen and Eric both say, like, seeing Mariah's bike was devastating for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that completely. Yeah. That is a representation of her.
Yeah.
And then we get this little scene where Caitlin's defense lawyer's like picking up the bike and like throwing it around, and her parents were really bothered by that.
Yeah, I don't think her defense attorney did. I don't think he read the room very well when it came to how he would approach this, because he was rough.
I agree. Colin had to testify, and a lot of Mo's friends blamed him because they said he manipulated the two women. Mm-hmm. They go through his texts and videos, and they all sort of realized that Colin did have an indication that Caitlin was growing more and more angry and violent about this situation. Mm-hmm. Moriah had texted Colin her address. So even though she was in his phone under a different name, Caitlin was going through that phone.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly. And she saw the address, but what Moriah did is she also sent him a picture of her on her bike. So Caitlin was like, oh, that's Moriah.
Yeah.
And that's how she got her address. They showed the GPS, like I said, and she had basically been stalking her.
Yeah.
Caitlin Armstrong is found guilty, sentenced to 90 years and a $10,000 fine. Why are we doing a $10,000 fine?
Yeah, I never quite understood that. How are you going to collect that?
Karen does a victim impact statement. Mm-hmm. It's really moving, really, really amazing. And I don't know why, but my next note is Vermont is really beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Now we get a post-mortem from Colin.
Yeah.
And he says, these days I stay in my shop where I can control things. Tess, that he has the language of like somebody who's broken, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, I regret everything. I'm ashamed of everything. Like he is a broken person.
Yeah. But
I felt bad.
he is a broken person. I also think that Colin again, this is just from what I'm seeing, but there
Yeah.
are a lot of men like this that are avoiders that they then really lean into being broken. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, Colin, this was a huge wake up call. Like what I wanted to see was him coming back being like, I take ownership of this. I messed up. I did this. I feel right. Like, so the problem was, I think he never took, it didn't, in the courtroom, it didn't sound like he really took true accountability, the kind of accountability that he needed to.
Yeah.
And I think now there's a little bit of this, I'm a victim. I'm like, no, you did this. And I do believe he's beating himself up. I don't think that
100%.
he's beating himself up and he's suffering, but there's a little bit of this. So I'm just going to be a martyr about it. And it's like, there's different ways to approach this, Colin.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like he's the kind of person that's going to be like, I'm just shutting down completely.
Yeah.
And he says he wishes he never started bike racing.
Yeah. And that was the other one.
Wild.
It was like,
but it also attributes his behavior not to him, right? But to like the circumstances.
Yeah.
Like instead he should say, I wish I never lied, or I wish I was honest with Caitlin.
Yeah, I wish I had been
like
honest with her. I wish
you not being a bike race, like you bike racing didn't have anything to do with it. There's millions of bike racers who don't lie to their girlfriends and juggle somebody else on the side.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. So Cash, okay, question. Cash has moved back into her apartment. What do you think of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, she said, I think that she spoke to it really, like, a lot of people thought it was odd. This was her approach to it. Like, this is how I want to do it. This was these memories. Again, I think it's one of those things where, right, someone passes away. Some people keep all their stuff around. Other people get rid of it. It's like everyone deals with it differently.
I would be so afraid of a haunting.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if I would be.
Moriah would really haunt the place?
No, I just feel I wonder if her spirit would not be at rest. See, this is growing up with my grandmother. Who has taught me this. You know what I mean? So it's baked into my brain. Logically, I know that's not going to happen. But I was just, a child of the satanic panic and my grandmother, and I was just telling Becca, my mother had a whole room ripped off of our house when we bought it because an old lady died in there. In her sleep, nothing terrible happened.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Yeah. So I would be freaked out a little bit, but I did, as somebody who couldn't do it, I appreciate somebody who could do it. And I thought what she said was beautiful, that she felt connected to Moriah there. She has beautiful memories of her there, and that is her space. And she's like reclaiming it.
That's the whole thing with grief is it's a long process. It's messy. It looks weird, and everybody processes it differently, and there's no right or wrong way. So that's the thing. You just have to, all of these people have a rhyme or reason. Like there's a thoughtful, emotionally intelligent reason why they're making this choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So we end with Moriah's words about loving bike riding and racing, and we see videos of her. And then we learn that in 2023, the family established the Moriah Wilson Foundation to honor Moriah's life and legacy, dedicated to expanding community access to recreation, sports, and educational programs. Well done.
Yeah.
Really
well done.
Loved it.
No, it was a beautiful documentary. It was very much about who Moriah was. And they did a very good job of establishing, like, we really got to know her in the beginning. So by the time the tragedy happens, like, I already knew what was going to happen, but like by the time the tragedy happens, it's like, oh, I really know her, versus that typical Dateline. She lit up a room. She did this, she did that. It was a little bit like, yeah, you can't keep saying everyone lights up a room, because not everyone lights up a room. So I think that
I certainly don't light up a room. I just want to say that.
that the obviously I was like, oh, the parents have to be involved. But this is a thing that I had to look up afterwards, because I am always fascinated by why kill Moriah, not Colin.
Oh,
right? Like, why kill
yeah.
her? Like, what is it? Because most of the time it's the husband, it's the boyfriend, it's this guy, right?
Mhm.
And so, but there are these times where it is the scorned, the scorned lover. And
Mhm.
I don't know, I just started doing some chat GPT, like it's Claude research and stuff. And I was like, they were talking about, I was like, oh, that makes sense, which is in a way, again, I think Caitlyn also was not necessarily, she's not an avoider, but there was also something going on where she couldn't be mad at Colin. She
Mhm.
needed to love Colin, and Colin needed to love her. She couldn't be mad at him. She had to be mad at the thing that she felt was keeping them apart, or
Okay.
keeping this distance between
That
the
makes
two
sense.
of them.
Mhm.
And then you end up like placing all the blame on the third party that's just easier. Cause I'm
Mhm.
always like, God, why do women do this to each other? Like,
I know.
that
I know.
she's an innocent person in all of this. But again, Caitlyn isn't thinking about anything. All she's thinking about is, I need Colin's love. I need his full attention.
Well, and I
So,
think too, like, not to get too deep into this, but I also think there's a lot of internalized misogyny behind that.
yes.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like, this woman is the temptress,
Mhm.
tempting him away. Men have no control over their hormones.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think there's a little bit of that. Like, I have to remove this obstacle.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, Caitlin Armstrong, it just would have been somebody else if it
Yeah.
wasn't Moriah.
Well, yeah, I mean, my guess is there have been other
Mhm.
women. I wonder if this is what I was wondering. I was like, if was it the timing of where they are in the relationship? Like Caitlyn had just hit her limit and this is what it is, or was it Moriah herself and what she represented? Because Moriah very much represented youth and beauty and being she was poised to be at the tippy top.
Yeah.
Right. They talked about this, that she was always on the podium, that it wasn't like she was beating someone by a minute or two. She was like beating them by, a good chunk of time. So did she represent this thing that Caitlyn could never be, and that seemed like the thing that Colin wanted, or the thing that Colin would gravitate to? So I don't know.
So a quick Google search does say that Caitlin Armstrong was a gravel cyclist, but
okay.
I'm not trusting it.
Mm-hmm.
But there could also be some of that, like what you're saying, right? Here's this amazing person who's shattering all these records and doing all these things, and I can't get a foothold. Maybe I don't know. I don't know her position.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that. I think that I think she probably biked because that was part of the community and part of the world. But I think it was just about him. And I think that my guess would be is that she had a lot of resentment towards him, because she probably was like, listen, motherfucker, like, I am sitting here running your business, making all this happen for us, running the house, doing all this stuff. You're outside in the goddamn garage.
I'm doing all the emotional labor.
Yeah. You're out tinkering. And then I find out that you're sleeping around,
Right.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But again, you're absolutely right. It is the internalized misogyny of, this woman is trying to take my man. And, because Colin's he could not help himself. And that kind of stuff I know it happens all the time, but it just drives me crazy that we're not putting the blame on the right
I know.
person.
It's so funny because we've watched a few documentaries over the last couple months. Like, we did the Manosphere documentary over on Loomis Recap. Did you watch that?
No, I could not.
It's hard.
I mean, I heard it was very hard, and I was just like, I'm not gonna. Sorry, I didn't listen to the recap. I was like, I cannot watch this, nor do I want to listen to it.
No, we covered that over there, and as my husband's watching it with me, like he's sort of being introduced to the idea of internalized misogyny now, and he's like, why, like, what? Like, he doesn't understand it. I'm like, oh, it's there, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Ask a woman, if a woman could be president, and half of them will probably say no. Like, it's wild. Wild. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this. I apologize that my mic was not plugged in for the first half hour. So Timmy's going to have to edit some things out. That's okay. And hopefully the last half was sounding well. Sounding good. Yeah.
Yes.
Tess, tell everybody what you guys are doing over on Psych Legal Pop, what you're doing on your own podcast, and all the things.
Yeah. So Psych Legal Pop, you can find us wherever you download podcasts. We're in a kind of a strange place right now. This week, we're going to be covering, we're actually starting from the ground up. We're going to cover Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Oh,
we're like,
fun.
okay, a new one started, and we're gonna get at the bottom floor. And so we're gonna be covering that. We're covering we just did a collab with Chris Farah from Vanity Fair about Love on the Spectrum. So I think there's just a lot of like, we're going to be covering that. We're doing this new thing. We don't have a name for it, but do you know when someone says something to you and you're like, why didn't we think of that? So it was like, well, why not? Because we were talking about how do we continue to produce the promise of the podcast of it being about a therapist and an attorney talking about pop culture. And someone's like, well, why don't you just do a psych segment and Tess picks something to talk, and Brooke, you pick a legal segment, and then you just talk about pop culture. And then the two of us are like, what the what? Like
5 years in, thanks.
we like mind blowing. So that's what we're doing. So so we're covering a lot of different stuff. So go check us out. And then the other thing is, I do have another podcast called The Gen Mess with Tess. Amy's been on it. It's all about the generations, but it's very much about making sense of this crazy world that we live in today. And I talk about, my own therapeutic thoughts about the world and what's happening and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Love that. All right, guys, I will link Tess's podcasts, both of them, in the show notes if you'd like to check them out. And I highly recommend your Patreon because you guys have a great Patreon over there.
Yes. So, and we do a lot of hot topics, and we cover more about our own lives over there. We talk a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. All right, Tess, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.